Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-tool power tool combo kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Nats Chat is brought to you by Walters. Make Walters your pregame stop before this Saturday night's DC United match at Audi Field.
Register at waltersdc.com/events and receive a free old-time lager for doing so.
Set for McGill, first pitch. Swinging a ground ball to short, runner breaks for the plate, but Lindor missed the ball. It trickles into left center field. Alu is chugging for second, and he's going to make it. And the Nationals lead 2-0. Here's the set. The runner's on the move, the pitch. Swinging a line drive to the gap, right center field, it's down. Scoring is Canna. Beatty will score. Nimmo rounding third, coming home. Abrams, a late throw to the plate, is not in time. Throw to second, and Lindor is safe there. Mets lead 3-2. A base is clear for Lindor, and the Nationals lead is gone, and the Mets are in front for the first time.
And welcome to Nats Chat for Saturday, May 13th, 2023. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the podcast, and so it is you, it is me, and we have a one-run Nats loss to discuss, a 3-2 loss to the New York Mets at Nationals Park on Friday night in Game 1 of a 4-game series. The Nats in this game did blow a 2-0 sixth-inning lead. They fell to 16-22. Do not forget to check out our new website, natschatpodcast.com, which allows you to listen to previous installments of the show, contact the show, and order a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. Also, if you have like 20 seconds to spare, please consider giving the podcast a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. The 5-star ratings do help out the podcast a lot. I'll get to the Nats offense in a bit, but Friday night was a MacKenzie Gore night, and boy, did he have a bizarre outing. So Gore did not allow a run, but he lasted for just 4 innings, and it's not like he got injured. Why just the 4 innings? Because Gore, over those 4 scoreless innings, threw an astounding 96 pitches. Yeah, 96 pitches over 4 innings. He threw 58 strikes versus 38 balls. The pitch count was what doomed MacKenzie Gore, not what the Mets did against Gore in terms of hits and walks, although the Mets did do a really good job of driving up Gore's pitch count. But Gore in this game, I mean, it's not like he got rocked. He gave up 5 hits, but all of them were singles. He issued 2 walks. He recorded 3 strikeouts. He just was not at his best in terms of pitch efficiency, okay? And I'm understating things in saying that. But you know what? Like, in that regard, give MacKenzie Gore a lot of credit for tossing 4 scoreless innings in a game in which he clearly was not at his best. Because, you know, this very easily could have been like 5 runs in 4 innings. Gore, in the top of the first, somehow did not allow a run, despite allowing 3 consecutive batters to reach base with 2 outs, including issuing back-to-back 2-out walks of Pete Alonso and Tommy Pham to load the bases. MacKenzie Gore, in the top of the first on Friday night, threw a whopping 37 pitches. I mean, think about that. 37 pitches in the top of the first, and yet Gore did not allow a run. But that 37-pitch first inning really did set the tone for the rest of Gore's outing. He tossed a scoreless top of the second, despite giving up 2 singles. He tossed a scoreless top of the third, despite giving up 2 singles. And at this point, you were like, okay, I mean, how much longer is Gore going to be able to stay in this game with the way that his pitch count is going? He did then toss a perfect top of the fourth, but Nats manager Davey Martinez had little choice but to pull MacKenzie Gore.
He battled. He gave us as much as he could possibly give him, but I can't send him back out there, 95 pitches.
96 pitches over 4 innings, but again, they were scoreless innings. His ERA went down. Gore now in this 2023 regular season, 8 starts, an ERA of 3.29, but his whip is 146. He is putting guys on base, especially via the walk. His walks per 9 innings is at 461. This game on Friday night took 3 hours, 10 minutes. That is long for this season with the pitch clock system. Neither starting pitcher was pitch efficient. Mets starter Ty McGill, 2 runs, 1 earned in 5 innings, 93 pitches. How about Mets reliever David Robertson? 1 2/3 scoreless innings, 40 pitches, just 20 strikes versus 20 balls. And if you watch the game, Robertson was laboring, man. He was constantly rubbing his hands and rubbing his forehead and trying to get a good grip on the ball, and he just looked all out of sorts. He was lucky to throw scoreless innings in this game as opposed to giving up multiple runs. But, Nats relievers had some problems too. 4 Nats relievers on Friday night combined to allow 3 runs in 5 innings. Andres Machado got charged with 2 runs in 1 2/3 innings. He, in what ended up being a 3-run Mets 6, gave up a first pitch leadoff single by Starling Marte to center field, and then gave up an opposite field double by Mark Canha on what was a bad luck result for Machado. This was a weakly hit ball, but the ball went to no man's land in shallow right field near the right field line. Machado, to his credit, did then make a nice defensive play, fielded a comebacker.
Swinging a chopper back to the mound. Runner breaks for the plate. Machado throws home. Ruiz blocks the plate, puts the tag down on Marte for the out.
And credit catcher Keibert Ruiz, a nice reception of the baseball and a nice tag to get the out. But then came the latest struggles for Carl Edwards Jr. He just has not looked well lately. Edwards on Friday night faced 3 batters, got just 1 out. Came into the game in the top of the 6th with runners on second and third, 2 outs, and the Nats holding a 2-0 lead. He issued a walk, a 5-pitch walk of Brandon Nimmo to load the bases, and then came the big blow. Edwards giving up a 2-out, full count, bases loaded, 3-run single by Francisco Lindor to right center field for a 3-2 Mets lead. Yeah, all 3 runners scored on what was technically a single, although Lindor did end up advancing to second base. The Nats did not get the ball back into the infield in ultra-quick fashion on that hit. But yeah, big blow by Lindor off Edwards. Carl Edwards Jr. is an example of why you can't judge relievers solely on their ERAs. He, for this regular season, has an ERA at 2.40. I mean, that's good, right? But he also has a whip of 1.40. That's not so good. And he's issuing a lot of walks, 9 walks in 15 innings. That walk in Nimmo on Friday night was big. The Nats bullpen, the rest of the game was good. Erasmo Ramirez, a perfect top of the 7th, and then a perfect top of the 8th, and Hunter Harvey tossed a scoreless top of the 9th. Hey, are you a law firm partner stuck on an underperforming team while the rest of the competitors are spending big and winning big? Well, unlike MacKenzie Gore and Keibert Ruiz, you have options. You don't have to stay on your 60-win team. Nats Chat sponsor Mason Kalfis and his team specialize in placing partners and associates at medium-sized and large law firms in Washington, D.C. and across the country. Mason Kalfis has recruiters in 6 states and has placed lawyers in more than half of the 100 largest law firms in the United States. While you may be reading doom and gloom from the legal press, many practices are red hot. Antitrust, IP litigation, white-collar litigation, finance and direct lending, and healthcare. Because you are not under a CBA or team control for 6 years. In fact, staying at a firm too long is often a recipe for being underpaid. Explore your options today with Mason Kalfis. Call Mason today at 202-486-3535. That number again, 202-486-3535.
Pitch swung on, lifted in the air again toward the left field line. Alu on the run, closing. He dives! Oh, he made the catch! He rolls over! Jake Alu holds on! A spectacular diving backhanded catch for his first catch in the outfield.
Well, the Nats pitching in this 3-2 loss to the Mets on Friday night certainly was not perfect, but ultimately the Nats scored just 2 runs, okay? So the margin of error for the pitching was rather slim. The Nats for this game just 4 hits. That's it, 4 hits. Now, the Nats did work 6 walks. That's really good, but totaling just 4 hits, not good. The Nats had a double and 3 singles, went just 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. This was yet another homerless game for the Nats. I know that we talk about the Nats' lack of home runs a lot, but, we should. I mean, this is a big problem, And the numbers are jarring. The Nats now for this regular season, 29th out of 30 major league teams in home runs with just 24. Think about that home run total. A team home run total of 24. The Nats have played 38 games, have just 24 home runs. The Nats are in danger of not even hitting 100 home runs as a team for this regular season. Think about that. The Nats on Friday night scored a run in the bottom of the first and then scored a run in the bottom of the fourth. Bottom of the first, Luis Garcia, a one-out walk, and he then stole second base. And then Joey Meneses, a two-out first pitch, opposite field, RBI single to shallow right center field for a 1-0 Nats lead. Bottom of the fourth, Alex Call, a leadoff full count, opposite field double to the right center field gap. And he then scored on a one-out fielding error by Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor, who failed on a backhanded attempt to catch a grounder off the bat of Jake Alu. Cole did have 2 hits. He is the Nats starting center fielder and number 7 batter, 2 for 4 with the double and a single. And I mentioned Jake Alu. He had his first career hit. That was a nice moment. Alu, as the Nats starting left fielder and number 9 batter, 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. He in the bottom of the second, a 2-out opposite field single through the left side of the infield for his first major league regular season hit. And he then stole second base. And Alu in the bottom of the ninth drew a 2-out walk. You know, the Nats in that bottom of the ninth did threaten. If you were watching the game, you may have been thinking we were in for another 9th inning comeback by the Nats. I know that I had that thought watching the game, but Jeimer Candelario drew a leadoff full count walk despite having been down to the count at 1.12. Alu drew the 2-out walk. The Nats were in business in that bottom of the 9th inning, but also in the bottom of the 9th were swinging strikeouts by Alex Call, C.J. Abrams, and Lane Thomas. Although Call got jobbed. 2 ridiculous called strikes on what were clearly balls. So that did happen. But the Nats offense ultimately nowhere near good enough in this game on Friday night. Game 2 for the Nats against the Mets Saturday afternoon at 4:05. Trevor Williams will be the Nats starting pitcher, and he'll be looking to bounce back. 9-8 win at the Arizona Diamondbacks this past Sunday. Williams in that game, 5 runs in 4 1/3 innings. He overall has done well for the Nats this season, but he is not coming off a good outing. All right, while we have a few minutes, a few Nats items from Friday prior to Friday night's game. Left fielder Corey Dickerson, he on Friday night began a rehab assignment with AAA Rochester. Dickerson has been out for well over a month. The Nats on April 2nd put Dickerson on the 10-day injured list with a left calf strain. He suffered that in his first regular season start for the Nats. 7-1 loss to the Atlanta Braves at Nationals Park on April 1st. Going to be really interesting when Dickerson is healthy and when Victor Robles is healthy. What the Nats do in the outfield in terms of Dickerson and Alex Call. And if those guys play well, does that result in less playing time for Robles? The Nats this past Monday put Robles on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to Sunday with back spasms. Also, MLB Pipeline, it on Friday came out with the outlet's latest ranking of the top 100 prospects in baseball. The Nats in that top 100 have 5 prospects, as third baseman Brady House is back to being a top 100 prospect. So good news there. The Nats' 5 top 100 prospects are outfielder James Wood, number 13, outfielder Robert Hassel III, number 28, outfielder Elijah Green, number 37, pitcher Cade Cavalli, number 48, and third baseman Brady House, number 100. House just got in there at number 100, but he is in there. The Nats took Brady House with the number 11 overall pick in the 2021 MLB draft out of a high school in Georgia. He in the 2022 season ended up playing in just 45 games for the low-A Fredericksburg Nationals, the Fred Nats, this due to a back injury. He in that 2022 season registered 202 plate appearances for the Fred Nats, had an OPS of 731. I mean, nothing special, but he in this 2023 season for the Fred Nats had an OPS of 887. As of this new top 100 coming out. So good to see Brady House back on track. He had been a shortstop, but the Nats have moved him to third base due to C.J. Abrams, in theory, being the Nats' long-term shortstop. Big picture, it is exciting to think about what the Nats could have. Keibert Ruiz at catcher, Brady House at third base, C.J. Abrams at shortstop, Luis Garcia at second base, an outfield of James Wood, Robert Hassel III, and Elijah Green, a rotation that features MacKenzie Gore and Josiah Gray and Cade Cavalli and perhaps current LSU pitcher Paul Skeens, who the Nats are expected to take with the number 2 overall pick in the 2023 MLB draft. The expectation is that the Pittsburgh Pirates, with the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 draft, are going to take LSU outfielder Dylan Cruz. Both Cruz and Skeens look like they are going to be superstars. So either the Nats are going to get themselves Skeens or the Nats are going to get themselves Cruz. Either way, it doesn't look like you'll be losing. I know the MLB draft can be really unpredictable, but Cruz and Skeens look like outstanding prospects. But yeah, it is exciting to think about what the Nats could be in a few years. And speaking of that, did you read the column by Thomas Boswell for the Washington Post? Now, Boswell is retired, but he does still write every now and then, and he wrote an upbeat, optimistic column on the Nats. The piece came out on Friday, headline, quote, "These Washington Nationals are scrappy, fun, and on their way back up," end quote. But the reason that I'm bringing up the column is not so much the message in the column, but something notable in the column. The something notable is from Nats president of baseball operations and general manager Mike Rizzo. Now, Boswell has a very good relationship with Rizzo. Rizzo has given Boswell stuff over the years. And Boswell in this column says that Rizzo, if/when he wants to make a significant signing in free agency to boost the rebuild, will be allowed to do so. Quote, "When or if the Nats eventually approach 500, they will do what they did in 2011 when they signed Jason Worth as a free agent. Each year, as they see who panned out and who didn't, they will add a piece or two," end quote. Now, technically, the Nats signed Jason Worth in 2010, signed him in December 2010, but you get the idea. His first season with the Nats was that 2011 season. But my guess is that Thomas Boswell wrote that off being told that by Mike Rizzo, off being told by Rizzo that Rizzo has been told by ownership, by Nats managing principal owner Mark Lerner, that if the Lerners continue to own the team, and of course that is an if, but if that does continue to be the case, Rizzo will be allowed to spend some money when the time is right. Now, of course, we shall see. But I tell you what, whatever you want to say about the Lerners, and a lot can be said, but whatever you want to say about the Lerners, they have shown that they will spend on players. Know this, the Nats per Cots baseball contracts ranked in the top 10 in Major League Baseball in year-end 40-man payroll in each of 8 consecutive seasons, 2013 through 2020. Not a lot of ownerships in MLB can say something like that. The Lerners can, and they do deserve credit for that. You tell us what you think. Hit us up on Twitter at Nats_chat. You can email the podcast, natschatpodcast@gmail.com, including if you would like to sponsor the Nats Chat Podcast. We'd love to have you on board. Email Tim Shovers at natschatpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at Nats Chat Podcast. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. A thank you to Tim Newmark for the music for the Nats Chat Podcast. Visit timnewmark.com. I'm Al Galdi. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Now the pitch. Swing and a line drive through the left side. The first major league hit for Jake Alu. Up with the ball is the left fielder Pham. He'll play it in towards second base, and the Nationals will call for the ball as Jake Alu, in his second big league game and his first at bat, can relax now. He has his first major league hit, a bullet through the left side of the infield.